Is Law Roach really retiring? Well, he just spoke to The Cut. They've released an interview, and we're going to get into it. So this is a long one, but buckle up. I've highlighted some of the pieces from the interview that I think are most important to why he is retiring.
100,000% retiring. Nobody can say what's forever and what will happen, but at this moment, and in my mind, I'm definitely retiring from celebrity styling. I'm not retiring from fashion because I love it so much, but celebrity styling, being of service to other people in the way that I've been of service to them, I'm retiring from that.
You're just coming off of dressing some of the biggest celebrities at the Vanity Fair Oscar party. You also won the CFDA award for Best Stylist. You're at the top of your game right now. So why do this now?
Isn't it always best to leave when you're on the top? I think the real reason is that it's been building, and it's been building for a while because, I looked up one day and honestly realized that I'm not happy. I haven't been happy, honestly, in a really long time. And the combination of everything that's been happening in my career these last few days kind of just really pushed me over the edge, and just like, you know what? Like, I've done everything. I'm very grateful that I've been able to move and climb in this industry the way I have. But I can't say I didn't do that without suffering, and
Right.
and I think as Black people in this country, we are raised and kind of it's embedded in us to suffer, right? We feel like to be successful we have to suffer. You suffer through things to get to the other side. You suffer through earth to get to heaven. You know what I mean? And so I think that's just in our DNA as African Americans, and I've been suffering. I've been suffering for years, and and I woke up, and when I made that post and shit, it's like it's been so long ago, but it was literally the day before yesterday, Monday. And I made that post because I felt like I couldn't breathe, and me releasing that and letting the world know that I'm done with this was the first time that whole week that I really felt like I took a deep breath. And yeah, it's like I don't want to suffer no more. I don't want to be unhappy. I had a lot of pressure because of Meg. It was her first time coming back, and anybody seeing her since the trial. And so that was a lot of pressure, because I wanted to make her feel secure and comfortable, and make her feel and look as perfect as possible so that she can have the strength to do what she had to do. So that morning, I got a call from one of my clients, and it was her publicist, and then they connected somebody from a brand, that I'm supposed to do a project with. And I found myself on the phone with these three women, and I felt like I was defending myself because the one woman from the brand was like, oh, he's not communicating, and, you're not going to have a dress, and all these things. And it was just a lot of, like, things that were not true, and, that's how we lose clients as stylists. Like, somebody from the brand will say something to the publicist say something to the client, and then this thing. And I thought I had a really strong relationship with this client, and I thought that she knew that my goal always is to protect my clients. And at that moment, I just didn't feel like I was being protected,
I wanted to briefly touch on the part about him saying he didn't feel protected and the way in which celebrity stylists lose clients. When I tell you guys, when you have a direct relationship between yourself and the client, it's amazing. But when you have to go through the agent, the manager, the publicist, like I told you guys on my live, they want their people in place. They want to do anything they can to undermine you as a stylist and get that client to leave you. And at some point, you just get tired of fighting. It is a constant struggle. Imagine having to go to your job every single solitary day and prove yourself all over again. It's almost like you're interviewing for the job and you have to get the job all over again. It's just not a good feeling, and it's not good for your mental health.
Like, it means you have to get another stylist. It's really weird because people are like, oh, it's a PR stunt, he's just throwing a tantrum, and it's like, No, I'm not. This is real. Like, it's real. I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to suffer.
I know you personally, and I know that you've talked a lot about how, your upbringing is so different than most people in fashion.
Yeah.
As a child, you went to bed hungry. You've always worked so hard. I think that there is a lot of trauma that we as Black people deal with, but specifically Black people in fashion have to push through to. I think people just don't understand of why you work the way you work.
Yeah.
How has that played into this feeling of you still feeling like you're suffering?
I was having dinner with some other stylists, and they're like, "You don't have to work like that. Like, why do you work like that? Why do you put yourself through that?" And I was just like, well, if you've never experienced what it feels like to be a child and to go to bed and cry because you're still hungry, because there's just nothing else, you will never understand the reason why I work that way.
Notice how some of his clients were more concerned about who was going to style them versus wondering if he was okay. And I think, when you've been in this industry for a while, and although you know in your mind none of these people are your actual friends, you would like to know or like to think that they actually care if you're having mental problems or if you're just had it up to here or if something isn't right with you. You would want to know that they care versus them just worrying about who's going to dress them for the next event. And him announcing his retirement just pulled the cover over all of the shade and the BS in this business, because at the end of the day, they don't care about you.
And very quickly it becomes a thing where they trust me and understand me and we have this relationship, and that's not the way it goes, especially in Hollywood. You have the gatekeepers, right? You have the person that's in between you and the client, and all the scheduling, and you have to talk to this person to talk to this person, and I think what happens is a lot of times they become intimidated by the relationships I'm able to have with the clients personally. And so what happens is it becomes a thing, like, I just don't hear for the client anymore, or I'm booked for jobs and then all of a sudden I'm released, and then I'll wait and I'll bump into the talent at a party or an event or whatever, and I'm always like, "Hey, what happened? I haven't heard from you." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know my team reached out a few times, but you were busy. Our schedules didn't match up, or the whoever said that you were way too expensive." And
the part about them saying they heard he's too expensive is absolute BS, because I know what the top stylists make who aren't Black, and it's way more than what the top Black stylists make. It's light years ahead. And no one ever questions their rate. They just pay it. But they expect stylists who look like us to be a lot less or to discount. There's another interesting part in this article where he says that he was approached by a new artist, I think it was an actor, and she wanted to work with him because she wanted to elevate her fashion. When she told her team, her publicist, her agent, XYZ, they gave her the short list. Now, if you guys aren't in the business, you don't know that there is a short list of 5 stylists who get floated around for every new it girl if they want to become a fashion icon. And the 5 stylists on that list are all the same, who dress all the people for the Oscars, and there is not one Black stylist on that list. Not a one. This list has been going around for like the past 15, 20 years. I've always known about this list. And I've also known that there's never been a Black stylist on that list. And if you tell your team that you want a particular stylist who's not on that list, they will do everything in their power to try to get you to go with the stylist on that list. So this is what he fights against every day. I fight against it every day. If you're a stylist, you fight against it every day. Yes, you are living your dream. You have your dream career, but it is a struggle. I highly recommend everyone who wants to be a stylist or just loves fashion to go back to the cut and watch this full interview.